Good morning. We're continuing with the Psalms on day 174 of our yearly trek through the Bible. And today we are looking at Psalms as individual and communal thanksgivings. And for our example today, we're using Psalm 30. I want to praise you, Yahweh, because you have hauled me up and did not let my enemies delight at my defeat. Yahweh my God, I called out to you for help, and you have made me better. Yahweh, you carried me up from Sheol. You gave my life back to me. When I was one of those who should have ended up in the pit. Oh, all of you who are faithful to him, sing praises to Yahweh and give thanks to his holy name, because his anger lasts just a moment, but his grace is lifelong. Weeping may remain for a night, but in the morning, joy. At first I felt secure and said I'd never be defeated. You had been good to me, Yahweh, like a fortress protecting me. Then when you hid from me, how scared I became. So I called to you, Yahweh, begging for help. What benefit will my death and burial bring to you? The dead can't praise you or tell others how good you are. Help me, be merciful, Yahweh. Then you changed my sadness into a dance. You removed my despair and clothed me in joy. How then can I stay silent? I must praise you, Yahweh. You are my God, and you deserve my everlasting thanks. Individual and communal thanksgivings form another category amongst the Psalms. This one says it was written by King David himself. And at first you might think it is a thanksgiving for a recovery from a near defeat in battle. But look more carefully, and there are clues that it is actually a recovery from an illness that scared David so much he was afraid he would die, and his enemies would say bad things about him, because illness was often seen as a divine judgment on the one who is suffering in those unenlightened times. There is evidence in the title given to the psalm many centuries later, a song used for the dedication of the temple by David. The sign is that the people of that time, perhaps when Judas Maccabeus retook Jerusalem and rededicated the temple, they saw the psalm, as I did at first, as a thanksgiving after a close-fought battle, and used it in the liturgical setting surrounding the lighting of the lamps and the resumption of the sacrifices. In fact, it's a very human psalm. How many people never bother God at all, neither thinking about God or offering prayers and thanksgivings until something dreadful happens to them, to remind them that they are helpless and need the help of the one who is more powerful than they are. Written in calmer times, Psalms 66 and 68 give a considered overview of national history as a reason to give thanks to God regularly for his goodness. Psalm 116 is an individual's thanksgiving for recovery from a serious illness. And Psalm 118 is a thanksgiving after a near defeat which turned into victory. Now, thanksgiving psalms are a minority in the collection we have in the Bible, but the very act of thanksgiving was in future to become central to Christian worship. The prayer which consecrates the bread and wine as signs of Christ's body and blood is called the Eucharistic prayer, which means it is a prayer of thanksgiving. It always begins with a poetic and sometimes a psalm-like thanksgiving for the mighty acts of God and for the good things God has done for his people. Some psalms, however, are more churchy and have to do with ceremonies and liturgical actions. and we shall look at an example of that tomorrow. See you then.